Welcome back, everyone, to another reaction video. Well, it's been a while since we have taken a look at some history trivia on YouTube. So we're going to be going back to Quizzes for You to check out one of their history quizzes. This one is Test Your History Knowledge. Are you level 1 or 7? My understanding is they do different topics. So like one round will be like showing pictures or showing an event. And then they'll get progressively harder. And then they'll do a different round with a different type of quiz, but all history related. So if you're not familiar with how I do this, typically what I'll do is I'll watch the video and I'll answer the question, and then I will, when necessary, talk a little bit about that topic if it's a topic I know about. It's just a fun little way to do kind of like a lightning round of talking about a bunch of different topics all in one video. I'll put the link down in the description so you can check it out without my commentary. I want to thank Jim Boberg for your support on Patreon. Really appreciate it. Jim, let's dive into this one.
Just how good is your history knowledge? I've got a fun quiz for you to find out. There's 10 rounds of questions, each going from level 1 easy to level 7 tough. Just add up your...
So 70 questions altogether. So we're going to be here a little while. I probably won't pause and talk about every single one of these, especially the more well-known topics.
Incorrect answers, if any, to reveal your overall level at the end of the quiz. So let's start the first round, which is Name the Historic Person.
And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to pause and give you a chance to answer the question, so you're going to have to try and answer faster than I do with some of these. Abraham Lincoln, yeah. I mean... probably very few people, even non-Americans, who don't recognize Abraham Lincoln. Same goes for Napoleon Bonaparte. That's actually not a real well-known image of him. There's far more famous ones. Maybe that's the point. I won't talk about that one either right now. Oh, okay, so a couple of clues give this one away here. The bandage. This is obviously a self-portrait of Vincent van Gogh after the ear was partially sliced off. Super sad story, ended up taking his own life. If you're a Doctor Who fan, definitely check out the episode of Van Gogh. They take him, of course they pronounce it Van Gogh. They take him to art museum to see his own work and to hear how he's described by the curator there. It's pretty cool. This is Marie Curie. So we're getting a little more niche now, and our Polish viewers are probably complaining right now that I didn't use her Polish name. Was it Slaveska or something like that? Sklodowska Curie. Oh, there's Ohio's own Neil Armstrong. This is kind of a cool image here, though, because this is obviously it's got I think that's a NASA logo right there on the jet. Oh yeah, it says NASA back here too, and he's got NASA on his arm. But he flew combat missions during the Korean War. I believe he's a Marine pilot. But share a birthday with him, and he's from Ohio. Neil Armstrong. So far so good. I think images of people is going to be a little easier. Except I have no idea who that is. Is that Florence Nightingale? It is. Okay. I don't know a ton about her. Involvement, obviously, she comes about in a time when women are finally starting to be able to break into the medical field a little more. Even nurses, primarily in the mid-19th century, are going to be heavily male. But you see a lot of women serving during the American Civil War. I think Florence Nightingale was involved in the Crimean War a decade earlier. This is Geronimo. I definitely recognize him. I wouldn't say a lot, but there are quite a few photographs of Geronimo out there. Awesome.
Round 2 is a little bit more rapid fire.
I think it's going to get harder.
Round, I'll give you some old place names, and your challenge is to give their modern name. Let's play.
Old place names to modern names. Obviously, I think even without seeing a question, most people would immediately think of Constantinople. Modern name is Istanbul. It was also known as Byzantium at one time. Definitely on my bucket list of places I want to get to. Modern name for Persia would be Iran. In the news a little bit right now. Saigon, I believe, is Ho Chi Minh City. That's the communist name for it, yeah. Saigon's what we called it during the Vietnam War. New Amsterdam is New York City. If you go downtown, In Lower Manhattan, you'll see a lot of stuff about New Amsterdam. You'll see names that still connect to the Netherlands. Names like Haarlem, for example. That's a Dutch name. Abyssinia is Ethiopia. I don't know the origin of Abyssinia, but I know it's Ethiopia. Helvetia is Switzerland. Helvetia, I don't know how it's pronounced. Switzerland. And the modern Tenochtitlan is Mexico City. That was the Aztec capital. Tenochtitlan. That's a man. Imagine if that city still existed. The treasure that would be if we didn't have this massive modern city built over top of it.
Round 3 is another picture round. Can you identify the historic event?
Historic event. Oh, well, we're starting about as easy as one gets with the Titanic. Those lifeboats will look a little too full to be Titanic lifeboats, but got the stars in the sky there. I'm going to see if I can try to get the dates on some of these too. So Titanic hits the iceberg April 14th, 1912, sinks April 15th. That's the Boston Tea Party. So I don't know if this many people were standing on the shore watching, but you see some of them dressed as Native Americans, which is what they did. 1773? Yeah, I don't remember the date. Oh, that's actually today. Today's July 14th, Bastille Day. That's the storming of the Bastille. Was that 1789, July 14th? Yeah. So the Bastille was a prison. I think there were only a handful of prisoners in the Bastille at the time, but this is kind of one of the main early parts of the French Revolution, is the storming of the Bastille. Which war is shown here? Those appear to be German soldiers. Yeah, he's got a potato masher grenade in his hand. These are German World War I soldiers. I'm guessing this is probably staged, but never know. It's definitely World War I, though. You can see the barbed wire. That kind of gives it away. Ooh. Okay, so we've got like ticker tape kind of thing going on. You know, like you've got some news coming through. I wanted to say it's the stock market crash news coming in, but this looks a little early for that. This looks maybe like first decade of the 1900s. I don't know. Oh, it's Marconi, first transatlantic radio transmission. This is 1804, December, first week of December, like the 5th, I think it is. Napoleon being crowned, and Josephine as well. Is this the death of... That's not Montezuma. I was going to say it's the death of Montezuma, execution of Montezuma, but I don't think that's right. Atahualpa, the last Incan emperor. I hope you're doing great
so far. For round 4, I'm going to give you some famous people. Your challenge is to name who was born first.
Alexander the Great precedes Genghis Khan by a good, or Genghis Khan. Got to be a good 1,500 years, right? I mean, these aren't that close, so this is pretty easy. Yeah, about 1,500 years. Charles Dickens definitely came after Shakespeare. Shakespeare is 1500s, early 1600s. Dickens is 1800s. Oh, 1812 Dickens was born. Hey, fun fact, if you didn't know this, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, Charles Dickens' like great-great-grandson or great-great-great-grandson is in Game of Thrones. He's one of the Targaryens. Marco Polo definitely came before Christopher Columbus by at least maybe 300 years. 300 years, I'm guessing. Columbus was born in the 1400s. Yeah, 200 years. Okay. Joseph Stalin, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 years older than Fidel Castro. Castro was born in like the 20s. Stalin would have been like 1880s, 1890s. Oh, 1878. He was a little older than I thought. Tesla's older than Einstein, though I'm guessing it's pretty close, because Tesla died in the 40s, Einstein died in the 50s or 60s. Oh, okay, so 56 and 79. And Hannibal, he's at least 150 years before Julius Caesar. We're talking very different generations there. Yeah, 147 years. And, this one's going to be tough. I'm not 100% sure on this one. I'm going to say Diesel is older than Ford, but I bet it's close. That's why it's level 7. Let's say Diesel. Oh, by 5 years. Wow.
For round 5, I'll show you some inventions, but do you know who invented it?
Who invented it? Louis Braille invented the Braille writing system, 1824. I didn't realize it was that old. For some reason, I was thinking it was newer than that. But Louis Braille, because I think he was French. The telephone, that was Scottish inventor Alexander Graham Bell, who later lived in Canada and the United States. Engine power heavier than the airplane. The Ohio's own Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur Wright. I believe they were born across the border in Indiana, but then grew up in the Dayton area. That's why we have Wright-Patterson Air Force Base there. The National Air Force Museum is in Dayton at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Of course, they're also connected to North Carolina. North Carolina's commemorative quarters say first in flight because the Wright brothers went to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina because the wind and the beach and everything was the perfect conditions for their tests that they did. But I think they owned a bike shop in the Dayton area. Dynamite was invented by Swede Alfred Nobel. It's one of the reasons why he started the Nobel Prize. He wanted to be remembered for something other than explosives. Mercury in a glass thermometer. Oh, wow. It's got to be Fahrenheit, right? I mean, I don't know his first name, but Fahrenheit, that's where the name comes from. Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit. I didn't know his first and middle name. An elevator safety brake. It's going to be one of the guys who had an elevator company, but I, off the top of my head, couldn't say who. Elisha Otis. Yeah, it was. Otis Elevator Company. Marine chronometer. I have no idea who invented that. I don't know that I've ever even heard of who invented that. John Harrison.
The next set of questions.
Isn't that the pseudonym that Benedict Cumberbatch's Khan goes by in the Star Trek remake? Is it John Harrison? I think it is. All right, we're on to historic firsts. We already talked about Neil Armstrong, first man to walk on the moon, July 20th, 1969. It's one small step for a man, is what he says that he said. One giant leap for mankind. Makes a lot more sense that way. First person to fly solo nonstop across the Atlantic Ocean was Charles Lindbergh. So Lindbergh, obviously, a lot of other stuff known about him. For one thing, he's a bit of a Nazi. So he definitely was kind of a American nationalist, a bit of a fascist, rather sympathetic to Hitler, which didn't make him particularly popular by the 1940s. In fact, he kind of blamed the same kinds of people that Hitler blamed for World War II. So, but he also well known for what was called the crime of the century, which was the kidnapping and subsequent death of what they called the Lindbergh baby, which was Charles Lindbergh. Was it Junior or the third? It was his son, named after him. And one of the lead investigators on that case was the head of the New Jersey State Police, a guy named H. Norman Schwarzkopf, who was the father of the Norman Schwarzkopf who led U.S. troops, the coalition forces, in the Gulf War. First to win 2 Nobel Prizes. I think we're going back to another person we saw. Isn't this also Marie Curie? I think she got him for 2 different categories. Yeah. Listen, distance runner in high school and college. I know Roger Bannister from the UK was the first sub 4-minute mile. That was a big deal when that happened. A lot of people didn't think it was possible. First to break the sound barrier, this is Chuck Yeager. He didn't die too many years ago. He was around for a long time. Discovered X-rays. I'm not sure I know this one. Is it Röntgen? I don't know his first name. It was Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen. Discovered bacteria under a microscope all the way back in 1676. This is a Dutch name, but I can't remember who it is. I know he was Dutch. Anthony van Leeuwenhoek.
If you're enjoying the variety of questions in this quiz, please give me a thumbs up to let me know. Round 7 is who won the war or battle?
This will be fairly simple. Battle of Waterloo was coalition forces, primarily the British, but also you have Dutch forces, Prince of Orange. You've got the Prussians who come to the aid. Blücher was the general. Hastings, 1066. It was the Normans defeated the English in October of 1066 after the English had just won a battle at Stamford Bridge a few weeks earlier. Battle of Gettysburg. I can't believe this is level 3. The Union, July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 1863. First major victory for the Union in the Eastern Theater. Strategic as well as a tactical victory. Battle of Marathon. I mean, I don't know a ton about it, but it had to be the Greeks, right? That's the whole story is that the guy ran 26 miles to tell of the victory from Marathon back to, was it Athens? And then fell over dead after he announced the victory, and that's why a marathon is 26 miles. So it's got to be the Greeks. Third Punic War. Well, we know that the Punic Wars did not go well for Carthage, and I think the Third Punic War pretty well spelled the end of Carthage. So this is definitely the Roman Republic. Sino-Japanese War. I'm actually not entirely sure who won this one. Was it the Qing Dynasty? I'm going to go with the Qing Dynasty, but I don't know. Oh, it was Japan. Japan had a nice run there because they also win the Russo-Japanese War a decade later. Is this the war where Paraguay takes like a bunch of Bolivian territory? I'm going to say Paraguay. I could have that backwards, but I feel like this is the one where they got a bunch of territory and massively expanded their country. Yeah, it was.
Round
Okay.
8 is another picture round. Which civilization built this?
Rome. It's the Flavian Amphitheater, built by the Flavian dynasty, specifically, was it Titus and Vespasian built it. Vespasian, then Titus. This is the, is that the Parthenon in Greece? Sad thing about that is it was standing for a good bit of history. It just got destroyed, I think, during the Ottoman Empire. Machu Picchu, it's high on my list of places I want to go. It's crazy to me that Machu Picchu was only rediscovered within the last few generations. It hasn't been that long. Incans, yeah, in Peru. This has got to be the Persians, right? Persian? Yeah, first Persian Empire. Oh, that's the Nabateans. That's Petra. I have been there. Incredible site. That is the... that's not the treasury. The treasury is the one that the famous one that everybody sees. Look, this one looks very similar. This is the monastery. It's 900 steps up. It was a heck of a feat. 900 steps up. After you've already walked several miles to get to that site, but totally worth it. It's much bigger than the treasury, the more famous one that you see. So you know, we are planning another group trip to Jordan, and we'll go to Petra. But yeah, this is the Nabateans. That's Angkor Wat. Cambodia. Is that the Khmer? I think that's the Khmer. I don't know anything about them, but I think that's who it is. Khmer Empire, yeah. Angkor Wat. That looks like it has to be... give me a second here. That's Africa. That's got to be Mali, right? I don't know what the name of the civilization is. Oh, there's the Mali Empire. The Great Mosque.
Has anybody scored a perfect 7 in any of the rounds so far? If you have, let me know in the comments down below.
I don't know how many I've missed.
I've
missed several.
We've still got 2 rounds.
Some of you are probably doing better.
Round 9 is leaders, and which empire did they rule?
Okay. Genghis Khan, Mongolians. And an empire of a lot of children that he left behind. Ramesses II, who put his face on everything, New Kingdom of Egypt. Yeah, we've been to Egypt twice. Ramesses II just plastered his name on literally everything, and his image is everywhere. The first French Empire, Napoleon I. Kaiser Wilhelm II, that was the German Empire. German Empire was relatively new. I mean, he was what, like the second Kaiser? Xerxes I, that would have been the Persians. He was fighting against the Greeks. Montezuma II, that's the Aztecs. Sometimes you see it spelled as Montezuma. Surayvamarin II. Is that going to be the Khmer again? Yeah, it sounded like a
So now it's time for the
Southeast Asian
final
name.
round. And don't forget, if you're adding up your incorrect answers, there'll be a scoreboard at the end of the video for you to check how you've done.
So people ask me a lot, like how I do so well on quizzes like this, and I watch Jeopardy, and I always do really, really well watching Jeopardy. I know a lot of the answers, and part of it is that I've been blessed with a memory that anytime I read something, I remember it. Like it, I know for a lot of folks, you study something, and then as soon as you've finished studying it, you don't need the information anymore. You kind of just get rid of it in your brain, and you move on to something else. I've always been lucky enough that somehow that stuff stays in there, and even though I'm almost 50 now and it's getting harder to access, I still can. But another part of how you do well on these quizzes and do well in Jeopardy, it's just deduction and reason, right? So like I didn't know that was the Khmer Empire, but the name sounded like it was from that part of the world, and I've noticed from this quiz that there are connections between the different, obviously like Marie Curie showed up twice, and Genghis Khan has showed up twice now. So it seems like they're reusing some of the same ideas, and so it just was a logical deduction for me, not from any actual knowledge that I had.
Round 10 is historical trivia, and your challenges are these statements.
True or false?
True or
Nice.
false?
Should be easy enough, right? United States purchased the territory of Alaska from the Russian Empire it was in 1867. I'm going to say that's true, or else it wouldn't have been a level 1 question. I don't remember the total, how much it was. Christopher Columbus he was not the first European. That would have been Eric the Red, right? Vikings, several hundred years earlier. Ancient Rome, a vomitorium. No, the vomitorium, that word is actually about the exits from buildings, like from the Colosseum. It's the vomitorium, where people poured out. Ancient Nubian kingdom of Kush. Yes, they definitely built more pyramids than ancient Egypt. We heard all about that when we were in Egypt, and Egypt has a lot of pyramids. Oh, Egypt's history is incredible. Incredible. Winston Churchill was Prime Minister of the UK when World War II. No, he had been voted out of office, was replaced by Clement Attlee. Weird thing, though, in July of 1945, when they have the conference of the world leaders, Churchill and Attlee both attended, because one was the outgoing, one was the incoming. Yeah, Churchill wasn't Prime Minister when the war started, and he wasn't Prime Minister when the war ended. Incan Empire did not have... I think that's probably true, that they did not have a written alphabet, because I don't think... we don't know nearly as much about the Incans as we do about other cultures and civilizations for that reason. World War II, a group of Indian soldiers defeated an enemy position by throwing cobras at them. I don't know if this is true, but I really want it to be true, so I'm going to say yes, because I really, really want this to be true. Please be true.
Okay, I hope that was a fun test of your history knowledge.
All right, I'm sure somebody kept track of how many I missed and how many I got right, so please let me know in the comment section below and let me know how you did. I'm sure some of you definitely beat my score on that one. Hope that was fun. It's something a little different, breaks up the monotony of kind of doing the same things all the time. So I will put this in a playlist with all of the other quizzes that we've done over time, so you can check them all out if you want to. I'll pin that in the comment section below. Thank you, Billy Wilson and Alex Clayton, for your support on Patreon. See you again next time. Thanks for watching.